My name is Clifford Johnson. I'm a student athlete at USM. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. I'm currently a sophomore going into my junior year. I'm a transfer student from Los Angeles Pierce College. And my interviews, I interviewed two students from my football team that are criminal justice majors, and one is a sports management major. I interviewed two teachers, they are criminal justice majors, and one is a sports management major as well. I interviewed these teachers because I'm an IDS major with an emphasis in sports management and criminal justice. And during my interview, I asked a series of 5 questions to each person, and I started off with the students, and I asked each one on the same question to see what type of feedback I would get. So the first question I asked Ronnie Thornton was what classes did he have to take, and he told me that he had to take criminal justice, law, ethics, procedure, theory, and police organizations. And I asked William Spike the same question, and he answered he had to take sports ethics, practicums, and sports law. He said that he had to take a few other classes, but that's just a few to name when he got into his major. The next questions I asked him was, do you have to take an internship? He said, William Spike said that he took two internships already for his majors, and one was facilities and events, and the other one was USM equipment and staff, and that's basically he worked for our trainers in the locker room. The next question I asked was, what do you plan on doing with your major? William Spike, he wants to be something in the professional field of football, maybe something like a general manager or a sports owner. He probably wants to own his own team one day. I asked Ronnie Thornton the same question, and he answered he plans on doing something in the foundation of juvenile probation. So he wants to work with kids that has issues with their life or whatever they have going on. The next question I asked was, do you think your profession prepared you for the real world? And William Spike answered yes, through hands-on work. And Ronnie Thornton answered yes, because with the knowledge he required, it seemed like hands-on work in the field that he was going in. So next, I questioned my professors, and their name is Professor Allen and Professor Thomas Bankroll, and I asked them a series of questions too. The first question I asked them was, what did you choose for your profession in college? And Professor Allen answered, he chose sports management because they offered it at USM. It gave him a chance to make more money, and he's really interested in football, so he wanted to stay in that field, such as William Spike. The next questions I asked them was, what do you like about your job? They both answered interacting with students, helping people, and guiding each individual person they help with their life, because everybody has different characteristics. The next question I asked was, what are your typical hours of work? Professor Allen answered, there's really no typical hours of work. He has to hold a certain amount of office hours a week, but that just depends on like the class schedule and what he has, but he has to hold at least like 10 hours a week of office hours. And Professor Thomas answered, there's no typical hours. He usually works like 6 to 12 hours a week, the minimum at the most 6. The fourth question I asked was, is your job stressful? Professor Allen said, not at all, but every job that you do has its days and it has its moments. Professor Thomas said no, his job is very smooth and it's not stressful at all. My last question I asked the teachers what skills are most important for this major, and Professor Allen answered, you need communication skills, you have to be a self-starter, you need organization. And he said for him, he liked to interact with the students. He has to have his own teaching style because every teacher teaches different. So in order for the students to learn more, that you have to have a certain style of teaching so they can get the technique down or whatever you're teaching. Professor Thomas, criminal justice teacher, he answered, you have to have observational skills and critical thinking skills, because in that field of like, you basically out in the field of police and maybe you might go join the military or whatever you may do with a criminal justice major, but you have to be able to think fast and you have to be able to analyze and think critically, because situations you may be in is life or death. And that's what I asked the teachers. They gave me good feedback on my interdisciplinary studies and the disciplines that I want to do in my life. So therefore, by me going into this now, I'm not going into my majors blind. I know like some things that I need to do, some classes that I need to take, and this will help me in the future. So whenever I graduate, I can just always refer back to these interviews, and it'll give me a good insight on what I need to do. And that's it.